Hello and welcome to yet another replay, and this one is another 3v3 battle. I am the Royal Scythia. Yes, I am slightly delusional, because I'm going up against Carthage, Sparta and Rome. My allies are Macedon and Bactria, and as you can see we do slightly outnumber them in forces, but it's already noticeable that they have very good anti-cavalry armies. I think you can see there with Carthage there's about 4 units of companion cavalry, or whatever Carthage have. Keep thinking of Macedon actually. Okay. So what I was lucky with in this battle was that Rome decided to come out and attack my allies, so they're going to move against Bactria, which is a fairly stupid tactic because at any point it allows Macedon to come in. Now because this ally here and this one here, they don't move forward, they just hold a defensive perimeter, and they'll move back at some point to round about here, I believe, and then they'll hold 2 lines almost like that, and they'll have archers along there. What's going on? I'm sending out my horse archers to intercept, so we're just going to cause chaos and try and find ways to destroy this Roman force, which is fairly small. I do wonder why this player decided to attack. I mean, obviously they have very heavy cavalry. They also have an ability to destroy my cavalry. You can see they're already starting to take fire. So what's going to happen now, they're going to try and destroy my archer, my mounted archer units, which are just Scythian noble women. I've chosen these because they are fairly medium cavalry, so if I charge them in later they can hopefully hold the enemy at least. As you can see, all we have to do, keep at range and we can destroy them. So this Roman force is going to push in. Meanwhile, I'm just going to show you something else that's going on the battlefield. Over here, I've got a couple of units of Scythian noblewomen here. I thought I'd try and see if I could find somewhere for them to attack in the rear, but I ended up just sort of going around. There's a lot of cavalry in the back, so they're going to come out and chase me off. In retrospect, I wish I'd got rid of these 2 units here, because they come, well, they do become an absolute pain later on. But luckily for me, he stationed all his archers out here, which makes anything back here sort of a target. So obviously they do have to chase me off. That's the only thing they can do. And I'm going to end up going all the way around here, and just sort of circling back around. Over here you can see 2 units, so we'll go back to tactical. Let's head over here. So obviously what's going to happen here, this Roman general is going to try and intercept. He won't be able to, so he's going to have to retreat back to his main force, and that will also allow him to instigate general abilities, because this Roman army is going up against, well, what's a very formidable pike line, guarded by hoplites and heavy cavalry, not to mention my own mounted archers here. So press button again. Here we see a mass charge. I do like the Macedonian cavalry a lot. I think I might just try at some point doing a Macedonian cavalry army. But you can notice here the Roman player charges in the Praetorian cavalry. I just wonder whether this is typical behaviour of an AI, or if the Roman player it's very old. You can see already now elite Persian archers from the Bactria faction, one of my allies, opening fire. Already starting to cause a few casualties. So there's only one thing the Roman player can do now, is to charge in. Luckily for him, the Triarii are still full of health. That should help back up his Praetorian Guard. Over here, I've really just got involved in charging into the enemy. What I've done is I've actually kept my melee cav back. I'm using shock cavalry. So this is about, I think, 6 units of Steppe Noble Lancers, which is the best Lancer cavalry the Scythians can get. I don't believe, personally, in very heavy shock cavalry, because I think it will just end up dying in the end. So I don't try and spend much on it, and with Scythia, you generally don't. These Scythian Royal Horse are, I have to say, I keep these back until the main game. I just thought I'd show you those. They are pretty amazing at doing killing. So the main thing when you have a cavalry shock army is to remember to pull your cavalry out once they've charged in, because that's how they do their damage. You don't want to leave them in a fight with, say, Triarii. So the moment you're going to see them, yeah, moving out, that one's, God knows what I was doing with this one here.
Understood.
Yeah, that wasn't very good, so that one goes out that way. Meanwhile, Macedon is moving up the artillery. You can obviously tell what he's thinking of. Of course, all I'm trying to do with these shock cavalry units is destroy the Roman enemy. By keeping some of my units back, I'm actually going to help my ally overwhelm the enemy later, because then we have far superior numbers. If I wasted all my units here, I would just end up with nothing at the end. And you'll see why only using part of your army at this point is a good idea. It also makes it far easier to control. You get some beautiful charges in like this one. Oh, who doesn't like to watch Romans being killed? I certainly do. You see, this is very good tactics, trying to charge the shock cavalry. No, he's not even doing that, he's just going straight in. My line drawing is appalling, I do apologise. Over here you can see this singled out unit of Triarii. So this is another tactic you can use. This little unit there, shock cavalry there. So apply enough pressure, you can probably break them. Here I've managed to get into a Valeric Slinger unit. The Bactrian ally is keen to help out. And you do sometimes get engagements where you and another force will be oh, look at that. Brilliant action there. Okay, so we can see the Macedonian cavalry is also engaged. I think this is pretty pointless for the Macedonian cavalry. You can see the elephant generals just there, and you can literally run these praetorians to the ground, and we'd also have a lot more cavalry. So bad tactic there. So these Scythian noble women, they run out of ammo, so I charge them in. I don't think they're really that good in melee. You can see they've got daggers there. But luckily these Hellenic cataphracts are very good. They are amazing to watch in combat. So there's another charge, so again this is where a cavalry army can do well. Charging into the backs of Roman units. And when a unit is exhausted like that really will cripple them. You can see these units have 96 kills. So I'm just trying to get them back in formation. Here comes another unit here. So side charge this time. We'll see a shot cavalry can do a lot of damage. Light one if you use it properly. This is something that in my last battle I was heavily critical of how cataphracts were being used. You just didn't get the sense they were piling on pressure to the enemy. They tended to, well, they were frankly wasted in a engagement with AI units. But here you can see this is really good. Mastodon getting the idea completely now. It amazes me that some people don't really understand how you can effectively break units. Just ramming into the back of them is a good way of doing it whilst they're engaged from the front. So over here you can see that we're finally starting to move our forces in. We've crushed Rome, there's only a few breadcrumbs left over there. So we're going to try and bring these guys down. And we've got some cataphracts coming down. They're going to try and go around. What's going to happen, you're going to see something fairly good with these units here. Or, well, when they die. Because at this stage all my horse archers have used up all their ammo, which I'd hope to be a bit more careful with, but not the case. So what I'm going to do is just speed things up. Let's fast forward. This is going to be a bit jittery, so just bear with me. Okay, so as you can see we're trying to really, well, my allies are doing very good tactics here. They're trying to move around. I'll go to tactical because we can at this point. They're really trying to move around, find any weak spots. And the more you move around an enemy that is clustered, they have to rely on the infantry that they've got in a thin line, and they can't back it up. So at the moment you notice the infantry does just about cover the extent of this. But you can also see that despite these two skirmisher cavalry, there is a big opening just there. And that is really the weak point. You want to get around there, try and get them to spend time manoeuvring units to here, if possible. So obviously, good positioning from Bactria here, and I think you've got Macedon moving in around here. However, you also need the right units, because if you look here, those are two Tarentine cavalry, good skirmisher cavalry. Really what you need to engage those are some archers, and they are all the way back here. In fact, that unit isn't even, well, it doesn't even have ammo. So over here you can see I'm trying to move my force this way, and then we're going to come down on that sort of angle. Meanwhile, you can see my ally, they're all they're going to be trying to concentrate around. I'm not doing this properly. Going that way. Of course, the problem with doing that is that at this point in time, there's still archer units here who can open fire, quite possibly on a very wide area that Macedonia is moving its pikes up on with no archer support because they don't have archers. Whether they were counting on me, I don't know, but they never said anything while we were choosing our armies. Apart from, where do you want me to put your cavalry? Well, I want you to put it somewhere useful, that's what I want you to do. Now, I think this is a bit stupid on their part. They've left this artillery unit out here, and they're going to have to abandon it. And I'm going to get a few kills. I'd also get into there. Some recruiting archers. I caused a few casualties. 84, 83. I was down to 88. So that's always good to do. Let them know that you're in control. I could have gone into that unit, but they can always retreat in there. And you don't want archer cavalry picking a fight with hoplites, all things. Now, I do find hoplites really annoying because they don't break very easily when facing cavalry. So as you can see, I'm trying to get my forces together. We have Bactria over here advancing, and I'm going to go into fast forward again, purely to try and get this to speed up. So over here, there's a quick engagement. What happens is the Bactrian cavalry chases these Tarentine cavalry. But as you can see, we've got, well, ballista crews, archers, all that sort. So I'm going to put it back to play because something important does happen now. Over this rise, elite Persian archers, and this icon tells you they are hidden from view at the moment. They are in a perfect position to fire down these royal Spartans, which are some of the most elite Spartan infantry. That's absolutely perfect positioning there. It really is. We'll see why in a moment. Oh, here we go. Ooh. I would not want to be standing here, I'll tell you that. Luckily, although this is what is technically called a noob box, they do know when to engage, and they know the danger of archers, so here they go. Oh, they're charging into the pikes. That is the general unit. Now, I actually have some Scythian noblewomen here, and I'm going to charge them in, because there's a lot of heavy Carthaginian cavalry. Cavalry. So I think, what the hey? I'm just going to charge them in. See if I can cause some damage. Let Bactria move in on this massive cavalry. I do allow for a lot of kills. I mean, there we go. That does help. So if you can see the point in a sacrifice, and you know that your ally will move in, do. Again, Sparta, because they're positioned there, they don't have to do much apart from move a few archers. These Tarentine cavalry are going to be very effective now against these companion cavalry. What you should do is try and withdraw, come back to my guys. I do have medium cavalry. This could be a noblewomen, and they can probably chase down these Tarentine cavalry. Although nothing to say how fast they move. So this is a very interesting engagement here as well going on. You see them firing or not. The Spartan player is now going to try and open fire as soon as this starts to happen. Not even him really, it's oh, no, here he goes. I mean, one thing I do hate about Rome 2 is mercenary Cretan archers. I don't think they should be available to every faction. For instance, they're available to the Spartans here, and they're available to Carthage. I just don't see the point. I think if anything, Carthage should have access to mercenary Persian archers, because after all they did come from North Africa. It would make more sense for Persians to serve in their ranks, in my mind. I'm not sure if that's historically true. So you can see these elite Persian units taking a lot of fire, equally managing to deal quite a lot of fire. That's one down. So I mean, this is quite a good skirmish battle, although you'll note there is superior firepower on this side. So meanwhile I've charged in. What I'm trying to do is just really destroy some of the units in here, which includes these Greek ballistic units, which I thought if you bring those back they can easily be used as an auto unit. So taking them out you get a few kills, and your enemy doesn't use them to block your advance at crucial moments. Of course I do get countercharging by the Carthaginian cavalry. Smart thing to do here is to pull out, which is exactly what I do. I do have heavy melee cavalry, but the fact of the matter is he has Carthaginian hoplites in here. I'd rather make him think that I was going to fire down on him, simply by positioning my archers in a rather overlooking position. So over here we see the advanced Bactria. Lots of Borax swordsmen, clearly trying to go for a gap, but probably the wrong gap because royal Spartans are right next to them. Over here the Bactrian general gets too close, and obviously these guys are on fire and they're charging through Bactrian royal guard, which is a bit poor. When you have an elephant general, your best bet is to keep it back until most of the firing is done, or to engage him on a side where there aren't many archers. Although really the enemy is going to focus their archer fire on your general, so in other words keep him hidden and then pop him over when they least expect. That's what I would have done, just gone through there, straight into the cavalry. Could have done a lot of damage, or even maybe through there, or where else could he have gone? Could have gone through these friendly troops, just walked into the archers. You can see he's already got in. He's doing quite a good job back smashing units despite the archer fire. Although if he did, he would have a harder time dealing with cavalry. So I think overall it costs Sparta some vital units. Over here these units move out of position. That exposes them to a charge. If I was to play, I think as a Scythian army again, what I would actually do is probably use half my army and keep half of it back. Make sure I have more varied units kept back. I could have done with melee cavalry earlier, and I could have done with shock cavalry right here. But you never know with these situations, you just got to go with it. So equally, we're just sort of getting involved in the melee there. Over here there's really been a super engagement, so what we're seeing are the Macedonians' foot companions engaging with the Royal Spartans. We also have shield bearers in there. They are the elite Macedonian hoplites. I don't think they're as tanky as the Royal Spartans. Yeah, it looks like the Macedonians have more armour, and Spartans have greater melee attack and melee defense. So overall, Macedonia can, well, just about conquer. So what we've been able to do in the meantime is get in the back. I've taken my mercenary Scythians. They're going to just be charging in, creating panic. I've been going for the archer units to give allies some time. You can see there, I'm just trying to disrupt unit movement. When you have a cavalry army, you can look for when the enemy is moving troops and just exploit that. And you can see now that because we're attacking from the rear, the enemy is having to, they're much weaker. They've got fewer units at the front, and that's going to be their downfall. See 4-axe pikemen engaging the hoplites here, and apparently losing, which isn't so good. Nonetheless, they seem to be doing well. There's a couple of breaks already. Over here, the Carthaginian cavalry came out, and we are managing to completely destroy everything. Even the Bactrian general is finding his way back into the fight. See all these allied units pouring through, because we still have a problem over here with Carthage, and these Carthaginian hoplites really are one of the best units. And here comes the Bactrian general, so you can tell they're being a nuisance. That is some good elephant pumping. It's good when elephants are on your side. Less so when the enemy has them, because you then want to throw javelins at them. Let's have a look at this. Okay, meanwhile, we're seeing Macedonian cavalry engaging there. This is a good idea, try and sneak up on the cavalry. Okay, so they're not actually engaged, but if you can hold them up with the units, good enough idea. Which is why I sort of moved my cavalry out of the way. These companion cavalry are going to be interfered with. And that wasn't a very good charge there. I would have pulled them out fully. As you can see, I've still got units back there ready to charge. This really is a mopping up operation now. We've managed to break through from the centre, and we've also managed to distract them from this side and hold them up that front there. So I'll just go to tactical quickly. What we've done, we've kept them at bay over there. We've broken through here, broken through there. We've run them through those two perimeters here and here. They just dissolved because they didn't have enough units. And when you take a look at the map, there isn't really much going on at the moment, so I'm just going to show you what I noticed after the battle, which is that I would have personally chosen this section here and simply put my troops in there At least then you don't really have to defend much. This bit isn't much of a slope, and here, well, you can face down cavalry just by placing a unit there, to be honest. So, yeah, there you go. That's how that battle was won. So, just look at the units quickly. As you can see, horse archers doing fairly alright, but I mean, again, when you have a lot of horse archers, just use them properly. Even if you're only moving a few at a time, I think is a better strategy. Scythian Royal Horse did well, just about, but they were interfered with. The Steppe Noble Lancers did extremely well, and because I didn't deploy my full force, I was able to focus my attention on them, give them as many kills as possible. And I mean, 247 kills for this sort of unit is worthy of um, really is worthy of the cataphract unit. So again, that just goes to show it's not about how heavy the unit is, it's about how you use it, in my mind. Okay, so my allies here. Okay, so Bactrian Royal Guard, not a good use. I think these were the units that were flattened by his own general going berserk. So not good placement at all. The 4-axe pikemen didn't really do well there. They really were just there to push back the hoplites. The main killing force was in these 4-axe swords, and they did really well. The general does exceptionally well, and that's the best I've ever seen an elephant do. So well done to him for managing his general well. His Hellenic cataphracts, they did a lot of Roman killing, but still, that's very poor. And look, 247, 77, 114, 56, 91, 47. Those kills look very similar to my Scythian armoured nobles, or what are they called? Steppe Noble Lancers. So again, it just goes to prove it's not about how heavy the unit is in terms of shock cavalry, but how it's used. It's all about the charge with shock cavalry. And I just did a lot of pulling out and charging. Okay, so the Macedonian force, well managed, good choice of elite units. Foot companions, Royal Peltast, probably doesn't seem like they were used much, which is a shame. Shield bearers not getting many kills, but that's predictable. They're a defensive unit, and they probably didn't have the opportunity to tank it out. Cavalry does well, but again, that's not how you should use companion cavalry. So I think they were wasted. Again here, waste of cavalry really with Carthage. Archers not doing well, and I think that was down to the defence. Carthaginian hoplites doing alright. A heavy sword unit can get through Carthaginian hoplites, and pikes will certainly get through them. Sparta has good choice of units here. Some of them really do hold out, but others have pressure put on them. I personally wouldn't have put mercenary Cretan archers in this build, and maybe reinforced with some Spartan pikemen. That could have made his force harder to penetrate. The Tarentine cav were used well, but certainly not well enough. The Ballisters did alright, I think. That's a respectable number of kills, I think. And they're certainly not going to get many. And the Heroes of Sparta not doing well at all. Maybe that unit was targeted by the general, I don't know. Rome, meanwhile, again, this was just really poor and you saw what happened. But overall, I think the main problem with the enemy strategy is that a lot of these builds, to me, seem like the sort of builds you bring in defense of a fortified city, and that's not what they were defending. It was open land. You want more land units, you want to keep them all together, and the strategy and the way it was done was all wrong. Certainly sending Rome out to die was a pretty bad idea. and they probably could have won if they'd kept this force back, because we only just managed to get through all those units. Then again, it was also poor placement, and looking at that map, he certainly could have chosen a better spot while Rome was being killed. So yeah, I mean, really, generally a hopeless battle. The armies were bad, and that meant it was easy for us to take advantage of them, and they were very slow to react as well when they were deploying, so they could have chosen a better position. So not sure what was going on here. Anyway, thank you for watching, that's it, goodbye.